সিপিআইএম কেন্দ্রীয় কমিটির দুদিনের বৈঠকের শেষ লগ্নে বৈঠকের গুরুত্বপূর্ণ এবং প্রধান সিদ্ধান্ত সম্পর্কে সিপিআইএমের সামাজিক মাধ্যমে প্রতিক্রিয়া তুলে ধরলেন সিপিআইএম সাধারণ সম্পাদক সীতারাম ইয়েচুরি। সিপিআইএম সাধারণ সম্পাদক সীতারাম ইয়েচুরি দেশের ধর্মনিরপেক্ষতা, গণতান্ত্রিক, সাংবিধানিক অধিকার সম্পর্কে বক্তব্য তুলে ধরেছেন। পাশাপাশি তিনি জানান, ভারতের সংবিধান, গণতন্ত্র, গণতান্ত্রিক অধিকার এবং নাগরিক স্বাধীনতার রক্ষার জন্য পার্টির দুদিনের কেন্দ্রীয় কমিটির বৈঠকে বিশেষভাবে আহ্বান করা হয়েছে।
The Communist Party of India Marxist has given a call for the first fortnight in August, culminating with our 75th anniversary of our independence, to observe the role of the communists in the freedom struggle. More importantly, the challenges to independent India and its constitutional order that are being mounted today. The Communist Party, since its formation in October 1920, has been at the forefront in the freedom struggle. And in the AICC session in 1921 at Ahmedabad, the Communist Party of India was the first political party to move a resolution seeking the complete independence from British rule. The Congress then was talking in terms, and Gandhiji particularly, of dominion status. But the CPI had asked for complete independence, and this was moved by Maulana Hasrat Mohani and Swami Kumarananda on behalf of the Communist Party of India. It wasn't accepted then. It was accepted only in 1929 finally, when the Purna Swaraj slogan came. Since then onwards, the communists have been in the forefront, demanding the agenda of the national movement, freedom struggle, to shift in favor of the people. What is required, and we still maintain that, is not merely political independence from the British, but it is the economic independence also for every Indian, which means that increasingly we will have to move towards a socialist order. This struggle continued all through. The huge sacrifices that were made by the communists. Today, if you go to the Andamans, Kalapani, to the cellular jail, more than 80% of the inmates there, you'll find them eventually being associated with the communist movement in our country. Such has been the glorious role of the communists during the freedom movement. And they've contributed through the big land struggles before independence to bring the question of land reforms onto the central agenda. The communists mobilized the oppressed sections of rural India, while the ruling classes were seeking to mobilize the oppressing sections to be at their allies in an independent India. The trade union movements, the movements of various sections galvanized the Indian freedom struggle, and that is why all the 9 Navaratnas who formed the CPIM and were members of the first Politburo were all arrested by the British and spent time in jail in our struggle for independence. But then what we see today, 75 years later, is that those values for which an independent India was fought for, was built on the basis of foundations of the Constitution of India, all of them are being very perilously threatened today. It is this independence of India that is in peril today. We all have to rise together to defend it with all our might. Every single foundational pillar of our Constitution is under assault. It is economic sovereignty, whether it is social justice, whether it is federalism and center-state relations, or whether it is on the question of our moving towards an egalitarian order. And this social justice, moving towards social justice, all these aspects today are under severe strain because of the policies that are being pursued by the government of the day. And along with this, every single institution under the Constitution, every single independent institution, beginning from the Parliament, you're seeing how members of Parliament are suspended by the women fancy of the government. You're seeing how the judiciary is still not listening to cases challenging the validity of many of the laws, like the Citizenship Amendment Act, or the abrogation of Article 370, or on the question of electoral bonds. All of them are lying pending for years now. And you've seen the manner in which the Election Commission is increasingly working in favor of the ruling dispensation. And of course, the ED and the CBI have become the handmaidens or the political fronts of the ruling party in power. This is mounting a severe assault on the democratic rights and civil liberties of our people. Any dissent against this government is treated as anti-national. The number of UAPA cases, the number of sedition cases have all grown in an exponential manner, when the conviction rate remains a mere 2%. So these sort of attacks on civil liberties and democratic rights are actually destroying the foundations of our civil society. And with the control over the media and the social media, the campaigns of hate and violence, of deepening communal polarization, with bulldozer politics, with identifying and trying to seek and isolating a particular religious community, with growing Islamophobia in the country. This is actually destroying the very social fabric which built India, which brought India its freedom, and all this is under danger today. This has to be defended. This has to be safeguarded. We have to save India today in order to change India for the better for all our people. All our people, whether they belong to different religions, different castes, different regions, different languages, all of us together form what we call India. And it is this India that has to be saved, this India that has to be consolidated, and this India that has to move towards a brighter future. The choice today is to take India back in this 75th year of independence into the morass and darkness of our past or into the brightness of our future. We owe it to our generation, this generation, to take it to the brightness of the future, and that is what the CPIM is committed for.
একই সঙ্গে তিনি জানান, দেশের স্বাধীনতা সংগ্রামে কমিউনিস্টদের ভূমিকা এবং দেশ যে বর্তমানে বহুমুখী আক্রমণের সম্মুখীন তাও দুদিনের কেন্দ্রীয় কমিটির বৈঠকে আলোকপাত হয়েছে এবং এর থেকে এগিয়ে যাওয়ার পথ সম্পর্কে কি করণীয় তাও তুলে ধরেছেন প্রতিক্রিয়াতে সিপিআইএম সাধারণ সম্পাদক সীতারাম ইয়েচুরি। ব্যুরো রিপোর্ট, আকাশ, ত্রিপুরা।